Good afternoon and welcome to Phases the Next Level. I'm your host, Valette Sunshine, and I'm so excited to be here today. I have my special guest, Crystal Turner, and we are going to be talking about a very touchy subject, and it's battling addiction and how you overcome it. And so we'll have some pretty touchy questions, and we may have some tears. We have our tissues ready, so just in case. But all of this is in an effort to help Crystal and to help others who may be listening, because addiction is it's a monster, and in order for you to have gone through it and to overcome it and to be still into your phases of being sober, it speaks volumes for Crystal to be here. And we want to congratulate Crystal on 4 months, correct? 4 months today, sober. And it was just crazy how this happened, because we didn't even realize that it was her 4-month anniversary. So this is exciting, and she's gonna do good. We're gonna be okay. But our main purpose for being here is not to get in Crystal's business, but to allow Crystal to continue to heal, and to also allow Crystal to share her story for someone else who may be going through it, who needs help, who doesn't know how to get help, who's scared to ask for help, because you go through all of those things. None of us are perfect. Everybody walking this earth has done something, has got mess in their closets that they had to either overcome or are still dealing with. So we're here to lay it all out on the table. And so here we go. So Crystal, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. I know this is kind of out of your comfort zone, but
Yes.
it's okay. But I wanted to, first of all, for me, it was kind of difficult to deal with it with you because of how close we are. And I just didn't, like, I was confused. I didn't know why, because that's just not who you are. So at what point did you, first of all, what was your drug of choice?
Meth.
Okay. And so at what point did you do it? When was your first time? When did you say yes to it, and why?
It was 2 years ago.
Okay.
Well, about 2 years ago. And it was, I thought that it would keep my partner at the time, from going elsewhere, or whatever. So
Get that.
I just wanted to be a part of anything that was happening.
Got it.
That he was doing. So
Okay. And that makes sense, because sometimes we can be at a point where we're so not, like, we don't have that self-confidence, and at a certain point we just get beat down. Our confidence and our self-esteem gets beat down so low that whatever it takes, that's what I want to do, because we feel like we're just
right. I have an addictive personality anyway, and he was my world. And by far that's not his fault or anybody else's. That was my problem. So I just thought, and I'd never been addicted to any drug. So I thought that I could do that and I would be able to stop.
I guess that was my whole shocker for it, because you're not just have your son as my nephew, but you're my sister before all of that ever happened. And okay, so I just wanted to know how it started, because I didn't understand, because you never done it. And what did you go through, from the time you did it?
At first, it wasn't an issue, as I thought. So I didn't do it on a constant basis. It was just more, kind of like when you drink. It was like a social thing. And so, like, I still worked. I did all that stuff.
So functional addict, and we have it. That's going on right now.
Right.
People are addicts, but they're still functioning.
Right. And when you go to rehab, they tell you there's no such thing as a functional addict. So, but that's what I thought. I was functioning. I worked nonstop. So when I worked like that, of course that helped me, because it helped me stay awake. It helped me cope with everything. It also numbed me a lot. So all the emotional pain that I was going through with whatever situation, it completely took it away. Took it away. Like, I didn't have that.
So, and then I feel like, so I did drugs before too. I smoked marijuana, and I did put stuff on my marijuana, but when it was time, when I was like, that is not who I am, then I stopped, right? But I wanted to know, so whenever it's making you cope and it's numbing you, I think what happens is you go back for it again when you come down because, oh gosh, I'm coming back to reality. So I better get back like that because that felt good. That was in a good place. Am I right?
Right.
And I think that's how you start the first form of addiction because you're addicted to feeling numbing yourself.
Right. And at first I was in denial. Like, I'm not an addict. I can quit whenever I want to. Which, of course, that's your first signs of any addict. They, I can stop whenever I want to, which is not true. And I did stop. I stopped for a while. I moved to Texas, had a great job. And, like, even before that, it really wasn't bad.
So before Texas, you...
Yeah, I had tried it before Texas.
Wow, okay.
But like I said, I didn't do it.
Right.
Often.
Right.
I probably, I don't know, the whole time I was in Texas till the very end. Didn't do it at all. Then I got laid off when I moved back to Oklahoma. I was just at a point of, screw it all. Because by this point I had messed up I was going to court for other stuff that had happened. So I had messed all that up. Yeah. So by this point I had warrants. Yeah. Then I got laid off from a job that I really liked. And that was good money. So that was another downer. Then of course my on and off again relationship wasn't at its best either. So that was another let down.
Yeah, so it's a lot. Like when we go through life, a lot of stuff that builds up on us and builds on us and builds upon us. Like we find something to take us away from that. And if we're not strong enough, and like you said, you have an addictive personality, then if you're not strong, when you find that one thing that takes you away from all that, then that's what happened. So you move back from Texas to Bartlesville, and which is a lot of people's downfall if they're not strong enough. And especially when you're doing amazing in Texas, you got this amazing job and things are looking up, and then it all crashes in front of you. You come back to Bartlesville, and then you feel like a downward spiral now, right? Because you've already been introduced to the drug.
Yes.
So that was you went back to that, right?
Right.
And it got worse?
My mom had my kids.
Okay.
So that was an enabler too.
Right.
Because I knew they were taken care of. I mean, I still had my kids, still had custody, but my mom took care of them. So that was a big enabler. And then I got unemployment, so I didn't have to have a job. So that was another enabler. Yeah. And so I was like, screw it. So I started just, it got bad from that point.
So when you got really bad, what did you go through, Crystal? Because you have your kids. So now your kids are, so really your mind frame was, my kids are good, so it's just me. When really we don't think about that. I have a story to tell too. So when I went through it, before I even had kids, I still had my nephews, right? They were little and they depended on me, but I was just like, it's me. So whatever I do to me, it's just hurting me. But how did that affect your family and friends?
Right, my friends, a lot. My mom was in denial, I think. That's what I call it. Because people were telling her, and all I had, Mom, no, it's not me. Which that was the case with a lot of people. Yeah. And I was ashamed at first. I didn't want anybody to know, so I lied. And I hid it, and it, just panned out real good. But I don't know. My friends pulled away from me, backed off. I mean, I lost everything. I lost my home. I lost all my vehicles. I lost all my friends that I've been friends with not really lost them, but everybody pulled away. Yeah,
I was going to say that when they're your real friends, like your true friends, your sisters,
right?
Like you have a whole slew of sisters that love you.
Yeah.
Because I don't even think you have sisters really by blood, right? So we're all your sisters from another mother. Yes. But I have to tell my story. I don't know about them, but for me, it was like I was in shock. And I was mad. I was angry because, no, this is not who she is. And then I'm thinking about my nephew, and all that other stuff, but never stepping back saying, what is she going through that is making her do that? It has to be something. I was just mad that I knew that wasn't you, and I wanted you to stop now. Because that's Crystal. She's strong enough. I know she can, but we don't know. We can't do that. So it's not that we stopped loving you. Not that Marva stopped loving you. Marva was angry. I was sad. I was hurt. And I just wanted you back. And it just felt like it was gone.
Yeah.
And then you know, then we're connected through the
And I
nephew.
wasn't ready, so it didn't matter.
And you didn't, and then when we were, like, it felt like I talked to you and you listened, you looked at me, but you didn't hear me because you didn't want to hear me at that time.
Right.
So how
you
did
have to be ready,
Yeah.
or it's not going to happen. So
Right.
I wasn't ready. I was still in denial with my own addiction. And I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it.
Mm-hmm. Did you go to jail from doing anything from doing the drugs?
No. Well, yeah, because I didn't go.
Oh.
I didn't. So I was already in trouble. I was supposed to see a PO every month, and I didn't do that. Mm-hmm. That's how I got the warrants from Texas. When I went to Texas, I came back, and I went to jail. I did 25 days for it. Mm-hmm. They were going to put me in prison for a year. Mm-hmm. And the judge ended up just letting me do 25 days and let me out and told me, if you mess up again, I'm sending you to prison for a year. So, got out. I was sober, clean, 2 weeks. I did 2 weeks clean. And I got stressed. I was still in the same situation.
The company you keep?
Yeah.
The places you go?
Yeah.
The people you'll be around?
I didn't change anything.
You didn't change anything?
No. Started hanging around the same people. And so I fell right back into it. Mm-hmm. And did the exact same thing over again with my PO. I wasn't going to check in. Didn't pay on my fines, anything. So, yeah, that, as far as that I did. I didn't get any new charges or anything
it was
like
just
that.
what was previous pending.
Right.
So, you're going through this terrible time. Did you go further than just smoking it?
No.
So you
Well, I'll tell you. I never shot up because I'm scared of needles.
Okay. Yeah.
But I smoked it and I ate it. Or parachute is what they call it. So you take a little piece and put it in a Kleenex and you just eat it. Right.
You swallow it?
Right. So I only did it a few times because I ended up having a really bad experience doing it once.
What happened? So the drug is in a Kleenex like this, and you swallow it?
Yeah, you just and eat it.
And then what happens?
Or you can put it in a capsule.
So does that mean it gets to your system quicker or
Yeah.
something? Okay.
Yeah. But so it already makes you paranoid. But parachuting it did me worse, I guess. Or I don't know if it does it to everybody. But so it made me super paranoid. And I was paranoid for like a whole 24 hours. It's not funny, but it's funny now that I think about it. Because of the stuff I did. Like, I thought there was cars following me. I went to my friend Keisha's, and like that's the first, like, she knew that I was doing it. Yeah. But she had never seen me high or anything, and that was her first inkling of that.
Right.
Because I went over there and I was like, just antsy and looking out the window, and I told her cars were following me. I ended up catching a really bad gambling habit in the process of all this. So I was at the casino all the time.
So that's double.
Yeah.
That's double.
Right.
Stress.
Like everybody was like, where's your money going? And they wouldn't, just, I'm here to tell everybody, like, it is so easy to get drugs free. I didn't even really spend money on drugs. My money went on gambling and cigarettes.
So what is it fair to say, because I heard this before, they'll give you drugs before they'll give you a place to sleep.
Yes.
They'll give you drugs before they'll feed you.
Yes.
So you don't have to have nothing and then you can get high.
Yes.
And that's sad, because that's the problem. Like, how do you ever stop an epidemic like this when people are just giving it to you to see, so my next question would be, because that happened, was it people that were doing the drugs giving it to you, or people that were selling the drugs just saying, here? I mean, how did that happen?
Kind of all above. Because most people that sell it do it too. And nobody
excuse me,
nobody likes to get high alone, so that's how you get free most of the time, because it'd be like, oh, smoke with me, whatever. So I had no problem finding
I'm sorry.
I had no problem finding drugs, more so, I had more trouble finding money to get cigarettes. Like, I would go all day without cigarettes and be wanting a cigarette so bad. You okay?
I'll be okay. I don't know. I'm talking in the middle of the interview.
But I could get, I'd go get high quick like that.
So sad. So, how did you get to rehab?
So, couple different ways. My partner at the time, we had a falling out, and it got really ugly and bad. But he ended up emailing all my sister's friends that I've been friends with for 20 plus years, and told them that I was in a bad place, that I needed help, that I almost died. I almost passed out a couple times. I was puking up blood.
That's true? Oh, gosh, Crystal.
So, instances like that. So, he got me help, or he told them all that. And...
well, that says that he did care about you. You could have died. You know how many people OD?
Yeah.
And they don't make it. So that was a blessing.
Yes. So for, I guess, I don't know exactly how long. I think it was like 2-week process. I have a friend that lives in Colorado that ended up putting it mostly together. That got me, I think it's called Bedazzle, where they get me on a waiting list and get me going for, she first got me to go for a detox. Set up for all this.
So before you go further,
okay,
did you want that?
I wasn't
after you had was throwing up blood and stuff. Was you ready? You just like that didn't do it?
No.
Okay. Well, when they start talking
when
rehab,
I lost everything. I mean, I had nothing. Like, I had no clothes. I had no place to stay. Well, I did have a place to stay, but it wasn't mine.
Yeah.
I almost lost visitation with my kids from my mother several times, but luckily she never gave up on me, because that would have done it. But that still, didn't make me stop.
So they got you bedazzled, got you through the program. And
we're doing all the stuff that they were setting. I had no idea that it was even going on. So I was with my son's dad, and he ended up texting my mom and letting her know where we was. I had no idea. She just popped up, showed up. So I was high as a kite. My mother comes in and tells, like, what's wrong, what's going on. So I end up having to tell her everything, and she's like, well, we already know everything. We've been working on this. We set up an intervention for you. We're supposed to be at the park at 6:30, and all your sisters will be there. Are you willing to go? At first, I was like, no. I was trying to run, because that was my new thing. I ran from everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's how it all got started. She ended up leaving. I agreed, to go with her. She came back and picked me up. She came back and picked me up. We went to the park.
Okay, good.
I was there. We went to Johnstone Park, and my sisters were there. Sorry.
It's okay.
That is the only thing that opened my eyes, really, is them seeing them all there.
I was traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just hearing that everybody still loved me.
Yep.
And wanted to be there for me, and that no matter what, they would ride it out with me.
Yeah.
And they just wanted me better. Seeing my mom's pain.
Yeah.
And then my oldest son, he was like, Mom, we need for you to do this and get better. And so that did it. I was still because I was still high. I thought that everybody was coming to get me. There was they had all kinds of minivans going around, and I was ready to run because I thought they were sending people to get me right then. Then I called. They first set me up a detox place that was in Oklahoma City. So I had to call them and do an interview thing, like an intake.
Right.
And they say you have to call back every day to see if you got it. Right. So I started the next morning.
So you had to call, and so you were the.
Well, I called the first time,
right?
And then I told my mom. I said they said don't just call back every hour. Well, she knew I wasn't gonna do it, so she did it.
Yeah. Praise God for mothers.
Yes.
Thank God for mothers.
So she called every hour. Sorry.
That's okay. It's okay.
So then she called me. Probably we started at 8:30. She called me at 10:30 and said this was on a Wednesday. was supposed to be there the next morning at 6:30, or we'd have to leave at 6:30. And I would be in detox for 10 to 14 days.
And Oklahoma City? Okay.
And that she would take me. So I ended up seeing my kids that afternoon. Some other stuff ended up happening. I ended up getting questioned by the police or whatever later that afternoon, and I ended up having a warrant, a city warrant. So I went to jail for the night.
Before you supposed to go to...
Yes. So...
Because beds are hard to get at rehab, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Like you have to call... it's called TRC in Oklahoma City, and you have to call every day and see if they have a bed open. They tell you to call every hour because people just walk out.
Right.
And so they might have a bed come open. And so went to jail, and they were going to hold me, but my mom went and told the judge that I was going to rehab. So she did not make any pit stops for me or anything. Like the minute we left the jail, I was like, well, let me go see my kids and we can go, you can take me tomorrow.
Mom.
And she was like, no, I'm taking you now.
Yes.
So she put me in the car. It was a very ugly ride. I was very mad at everyone.
I get that.
Yeah. So I got there, and I was there.
What was it like when you got there? Because it's hard because this is not Crystal again, and now you're addicted to this meth, and you're used to being able just to go and do your mess, is what I'll call it, right?
Right.
It's a mess. And now you're there. Were you court ordered after you had went to jail, or they still just let you go?
Yeah.
So you weren't court ordered, you stayed. You could have left.
Yeah. Even if you're court ordered, you can leave.
But you'll go to jail, right?
Yeah. You'll go to jail. But you can leave whenever you want to. Detox. Now, if you get in there and you act ugly to them or whatever, they'll
make you
go.
They
will make you leave. Sorry. But, so I got there, first 2 days I slept, so I don't remember.
Yeah.
For meth, there's not really detox for meth. Like, you don't have to detox off meth.
Right. What? I don't get that.
So, like, alcohol, pills, that's, when you detox off that, you could die. Alcoholism is really bad. Like, it's bad for people
Like to just quit.
Yeah, to detox off of. So, like, there are medical people there and professionals that will medicate you kind of down off of it. For meth, there's not anything.
So you just got to get off of it.
Right, and it's not hard like that to come off of.
Oh, okay.
So you can't die from
So what was the process coming off of it after the 2 days waking up? Like, were you still mad?
Oh, yeah.
And how long did that anger last? Because you came home smiling. You know, when I see you again, it's like a whole different person.
Right.
And so what was the process in rehab?
I was very angry. Detox was probably the worst. Like, I looked, I had a box of stuff that I had gotten from rehab, and I had not opened it since I left. I opened it last night. And I had like a little journal thing that I wrote in, and I only wrote in it probably 10 times. But the first probably few days at detox, I wrote in it, and then I wrote in it a couple times at rehab, and then at the end of my rehab.
Will you share what the first couple of...
I hated everyone. I felt alone. Everybody told me they would be there for me, and I felt like nobody was there. I thought my mom was out to sabotage me. Nobody, I was calling people, nobody's answering the phone. This is what I'm thinking in my head.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, but...
Right. So when you look at the journal, and then you go down about 3 weeks later in the journal, because you did about 10 times, is it getting better? Did you see that transition in your journal where it got better?
Because I wrote, like, the first couple days I was there, I was there at rehab, or at the detox for 15 days, because the places that they found me to go, my mom wasn't suitable, did not want me going there.
Right.
So it took me 3 times to find a rehab. And my rehab that I ended up going to was, it's called Monarch, and it's in Muskogee. So, I was at detox for 15 days. So, I wrote in, like, the first couple days, and I hated everybody. And
Still at Monarch?
No, I was at, it's called TRC.
So, you're still at TRC. Okay.
then I rode in it the day that I was leaving TRC. And
How do
going
you
to
transport from there to Muskogee? Because that's in Oklahoma City.
My
right?
stepdad Charlie came and got me.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Him and King.
Oh,
They
Kingy. Okay.
They came and picked me up. My mom had to work,
Right.
so they came and picked me up. Which, I mean, not everybody knows, but I have a hard relationship with my stepdad. But
Okay.
he was so very supportive of me. He came and got
Thank
me
you,
and
God.
took me. And
That means he cares, Crystal.
I know.
They love you.
I know.
Yeah.
And they dropped me off. They got all my clothes together and made sure that I had everything I needed, because it kind of like when you're going off to college.
Yeah.
You had to have,
Certain
bedding
stuff.
and clothes. You could only take so much of everything. Like, I could only have 11 shirts, 11 pairs of pants, 11 underwear,
Yeah,
such-
yeah. So, how long is Monarch now that you get there? When you get there? Well, let me back up before you answer that. Charlie and King took you. This isn't kind of important to me. When you get to Monarch and it's time to go, it's time for them to go. What happened
It's hard.
with the King?
I wanted to go. King cried. He didn't know what I was there for. He thought that I was at a hospital. And that I was real sick, that I needed help. And
So really, he wanted you to be there, but he wanted you to be with you.
yes. But he had drew me a lot of pictures and stuff before I went. So I got those. And then he wrote me and stuff while I was in there.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so they're gone, and you're there, and all your stuff is there, and you're in Monarch. I want to know when it start getting better for you, because we're still like only 15 days in, right? Because TRC's only 14.
I was there for 15.
days. So now this is only like the 16th day, and it's still not easy. When did you see
and I
your
thought
transition?
I was all better.
Yeah, in
And
15
I just wanted
days.
to go home.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go home.
So when did you see your transition getting better? When did you start opening up and saying this is, and not blaming everybody else and saying this is me and I gotta fix me because I gotta get my kids and that's who I'm living for.
30 days into Monarch. I had to
30
be there.
days into Monarch.
I was there for, it was a total of 70 days.
It's a
from
process.
detox, through Monarch. It's very different. I'm 41. I haven't had to live with a bunch of females in I don't know how long.
Yeah.
And the place that I went to housed 35 women. It was very tough. You have a roommate. There was 3 people to a room. So you could have 3 people at one time.
And everybody on drugs, coming off of drugs,
Yes.
different attitudes,
Yes.
different ways of life, different walks of
Different
life.
drugs.
Different kind of drugs.
Yes.
So the attitudes are different.
Yes.
People shooting up, snorting, whatever. How was your roommates? How was it?
I didn't have any issues with my
you
roommates.
talk
Yes.
to them? Okay.
Yes. I made a lot of friends there.
Good.
That I still keep in touch with.
Good.
So, that we all work together to try to keep each other sober.
Yeah.
Like, we'll send messages.
Like a little
and-
family.
Yeah,
That's good.
it is.
So you're at the end. It's time to go home. What is your journal saying now?
How I connected with God.
Oh. What I wanted to
How
hear.
I had all this support, and how I forgive a lot of people for things that happen, which you have to do to get over it. And
At the event, forgiveness was huge. You have to forgive people. People do stuff not, maybe they're on drugs, and maybe this the people you hang around, but you have to forgive, else it will kill you.
yeah, sucks you back in.
Suck you up. So you have to forgive.
Right.
So you forgave people.
Yeah.
You forgive yourself.
Yes. Learn to love myself
Love
again.
yourself.
I know what I deserve, what my kids deserve, and I know what I have to do to maintain my sobriety and not put myself back in those situations. I know they tell you that you have to learn your triggers. And I told, my mom, if you see me acting this way, or, that means I'm trying to go.
Right.
So
That's
I
good.
need for you to pull me back.
Thank God.
Which I haven't
for-
had any issues
thank
like
God
that.
for parents and friends.
Yes.
I hope you forgave us, all of your sisters, because we loved you. And
I know.
we just wanted the best for you. Like, if any of us see each other, and I'm talking about, I know you have way more sisters than in our circle of sisters, but the 5 or 6 of us that I'm talking about, and We just wanted the best for you. We'll ride with you. We'll fight for you. But we needed you to fight for yourself. But we don't know how hard it is if we don't go through it. We didn't walk in your shoes. We needed to respect that. So I hope you forgive us for that.
Yes.
Because we love you to pieces.
I know.
So you forgave yourself. Everything's happy. What do you know now that you need to do to stay happy in a happy place? Because, Crystal, before you left, you weren't smiling. And this was way before the addiction. You wasn't smiling like we were used to. You was withdrawn with your partner who, you know, y'all both going through things and wasn't good for each other, but you didn't want to leave each other. And then now you have a son involved and you got other sons. What do you know that you have to do that is detrimental? First of all, we know God first and foremost. And I'm happy to hear you say that because you struggle with that too, you know, and he's amazing. And you wouldn't be sitting here right here with us if it wasn't for him. He saved your life. He kept you from dying because it wasn't your time yet. There's a lot more you need to be here helping people do. Right. So you're in a happy place. What do you know that you have to do in order to stay like this? Because doesn't it feel good?
Yes.
And look how pretty you are and amazing you are and an amazing mother and daughter and my sister, right? Yeah. So what do you have to do?
Just stay in touch with my higher power is my main focus. I can't be around anybody that does it, or I don't mind helping people. I am all for trying to tell somebody how to get sober, or I can't tell you how, but help you, and be there for you as far as that's concerned. But I cannot be around anybody that's on it, doing it. That doesn't work. That doesn't work for anyone. I don't care what anybody says.
I don't care who it is. I don't care how strong you are. If
you might stay sober for 2 weeks, but eventually you're going to end up doing it.
That's right. And that could be the seller if you try not to sell anymore because you're addicted. People that sell drugs have an addiction to selling drugs and the money. And if you want to quit and you say you're going to quit, you can't go around people that are selling money and making money off of drugs because guess what? Give me a sec. I need, you know. So I commend you for that. And I'm so happy for you, and I know you'll be okay. I'm thankful for who you have a job and how you got that job, and you have a testimony. And you know what I do? I'm all about women empowerment, and I have events, and I have all this stuff going on, and I absolutely know that you have a testimony, and we're gonna have to figure out something for you to share the story, continue to share your testimony, because I always say there are about 10, 20 more people going through exactly, for sure. We know there's more than that, but for sure going through exactly what you're going through right in your hometown. Right. You can't fix them if they don't want to be fixed, but you can tell your story, and you can tell what you've been through. You have a story, sister, and you need to tell it, and you don't need to be embarrassed about it. Let it out.
I was, but I'm not.
Yeah, you are. But you drink drugs. I would never, like, I got to go tell my story in Veneta. And it's not easy. But I got to tell it in order for me to continue my walk and continue doing what I'm doing. Right. And I got to, if I say I want to help people, I got to share. So you got to share your testimony. Yes. How are your kids?
Good.
Everybody good?
Everybody's
Mama
happy,
and Daddy's good?
Yes.
Both sides?
Yes.
Yeah. Everybody had brothers?
Good. Yes.
Good.
Everybody's good.
Good. Your sisters?
Yes.
All of them?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you being here. You guys, thank you so much for joining us in Phases. Our little lighting is, the sun is moving, but that's okay. But we appreciate you being here. If you have an addiction and you need help and you don't know where to start, please contact Crystal. Please contact me. Contact a pastor. Contact anybody. But if you want to stop, you can stop, but you gotta want it. And don't be embarrassed. Everybody walking this earth has done something that they're not proud of. So you got to get it fixed. Crystal, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Don't forget to say your prayers. Thank you for being in Phases, and have a wonderful afternoon. Bye-bye.